Let's test it out and see what happens. So let's save this, go to our site, reload, and scroll down to see our first featured products. Okay, it looks great. So we have our title here, we have our jeans, the list price is of course strike through, and our price is $19.99, and then here's a button. So if I click on this button, obviously nothing happens at this point, okay? But right now all we've done just added the product here. Great, let's go to our code. Now next, I'm going to add several products. So we're not just selling Levi's jeans, we may be selling other products like football, frocks, and so on, hoodies and so forth, okay? So we'll be adding additional products. And what I'm going to do is just simply copy the existing code for my first product and then paste it several times and make the changes, okay? So I don't have to write the code again. Once you create the code for one product, essentially repeat the same code. All you have to do is just change the location of the image, maybe the image name, and the prices. So let's do that. So in order to do this, let me first copy our first product here, which is right here, starting from the div class column MD3 all the way down to where it closes the tag. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and then create a couple of spaces and then paste it. A couple of spaces and paste it again. So that's 3 times, right? We have our original feature products and then I paste it twice. I'm going to do maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 more times. So we have about 7 products. And each of these products, obviously, at this point, are going to be repeated because I need to change these lines to reflect new products. And secondly, I also want to make sure that these products and the modal appears in the center of my screen. So at this point, the feature products is on the left. So I'm going to add a code later on after I configure these products so that the products are displayed in the center. Okay, so let's quickly scroll up. So my Levi's jeans is done. My next product, where it says column mid-3 and H4, instead of Levi's jeans, I'm going to change it to, let's say, football. So I'm going to call it Adidas and football. And then, of course, copy this, change my alt text also, say the same. And of course, my image comes from my left image folder, and here's a football.jpg. So I'm going to say football.jpg. Change my prices. This is going to be $34 or $39 or whatever price you want to keep. $99. My list price is going to be changed to, let's say, $29. And then my data target button stays the same, and this changed to my second product. So details-2. Okay. Same thing, scroll down. My next product is going to be, let's say, selling some watches also. So copy this, change to the alt text, change the price, change it to $20.99, and this is going to be $17 only, and change my details button to say 3. Okay, so you get the idea, right? So this way, let's continue on to our next product. All right, what I did forget was, of course, the image. Okay, so image source for my watch. So instead of Levi's, I'm going to say, where's my watch here? All right, that's fine. Here's my Gucci watch. Okay, so I'm going to say underscore and watch. And you need to be careful to make sure that you use the same name. Otherwise, it's not going to pull the image, okay, from that folder. All right, my next product is going to be my polo shirt. Copy this, change the alt text, and the next is my image, of course, and find my polo shirt.png. So this is polo shirt.png. Make sure my spellings are correct. All right, great. And then my list price is $24.99, and also change this to PNG, right? Because this is a PNG image right here on the polo shirt.png. And you got to be careful when you're coding, because as your code grows, typos are pretty common. So you got to be careful. All right, polo shirt.png, and just change my list price to, let's say, $54.99, and then change this to, or keep it to $19.99, and then change the target to say details-4th. So this is my 4th product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip and add these products so they're pretty much the same as the rest of them. All right, so what I've done is I've added additional products and simply repeated the steps that we did earlier for our first products. So my last product here, for example, is the headband that I added. Now let's test it out. So I'm going to save it, go to our browser, and refresh and see what happens. All right, so our products are all jumbled up, which is nice. So we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 products. So let's remove the jumbled up products and fix some of these issues. So let's go to our code and let's scroll up. So let me place these products in the center here. So right after my main content, let's place another comment here, easier to follow. So this is simply going to remove the spaces and center the products. Okay, so here, just do a div class, and this is going to be using the bootstrap function. Oh, instead of 3, I'm going to say 2, and close my div tag. Let's save it. Let's go back to our site, refresh, and our featured products are now in the center. Great. Good progress so far. Let's go to our code. All right, at this point, our images are jumbled up still. They're in the center because we made sure that they remain in the center now. And all we have to do is just remove the problem and make sure our images are displayed correctly. So far, within our code here, I created this ID earlier on called images. And within our CSS, I'm just going to call this ID and create a selector, because each product, for instance, my featured products has the ID referring to the images. And then I have my football also referring to the images. I have my watch referring to the same ID, and so on. So all of my products have the same ID. So let's go to my main.css here. Scroll down, and let's create a selector called images, and simply open my curly braces, and let's specify a width. So here my width is going to be auto, for instance, and I'm also going to give a height of, let's say, 175 or let's say 200 pixels. Place a semicolon. That's about it. All we're doing here is simply creating a selector and then specifying the width auto for the number images. And let's save this, go to our code, refresh, and perfect. So we have our featured products, and they're all in the center and listed correctly. So our site is looking nice, and each product has a button as well. And as I scroll down, notice there's no footer, right? So I'm going to add a footer also so it looks a little better that way. So let's go to our code, and let me navigate back to our index.php, scroll all the way down, and right above or below my last div, I'm going to insert a footer, use a class, and this is going to be text center. Give it an ID called footer. And again, you can use any naming conventions. Okay? So it depends on your own structure for your naming convention. And let's say I'm going to create a copy and say copyright, because this is our own e-commerce site, 2016 to 2017, for example. I'm going to call it Redstone Shop. Of course, my footer closes. Let's test it out. Save this. Refresh our site. All right, doesn't show up. Let's see what we did wrong. Let's go back. So here's my footer class, my text center, ID equals footer. Looks good so far. All right, this looks okay. Let me scroll up here just to verify one more thing. I have my comment here for my column, which is fine. My featured products is okay. Let's scroll down. And footer class, text center, ID footer. All right, this looks good. So let's save one more time and refresh to see whether our footer shows up or not. All right, it still doesn't. Let's go back. All right, let's troubleshoot here a little bit. So my footer is outside my divs here. So my last div that closes, let me scroll up to see where it begins right here. So this is our column mid-8, okay? So since within this column, I need to make sure my footer also exists. Otherwise, it's not going to show up on my screen. And that's what's going to happen is I'm simply going to remove my last div and place the footer inside the div. And now if I save it, go back to our site, refresh, and here's my footer. Okay, so it says copyright 2016 to 2017 Redstone Shop. Of course, I can give some spaces as well and further use the CSS to do that. But right now, our featured products are listed. They're looking good. They're in the center, and the prices are also displayed. Obviously, if I click on the details button, nothing happens. Okay, so in this lesson, I simply want to demonstrate how to add featured products to our e-commerce site. So practice, and let's move to our next lesson.